Morning, everybody. It is a sinus day today, and yes, I took something, but it's not working. So I'll be sniffling and sneezing. Get over it. It's a rough sinus day today. God, I'm horrible, absolutely horrible. Um, anyway, today, like I said, I'll be pausing to sneeze every once in a while. I took what I could took, and I couldn't tooketh no more. So we'll see if it kicks in time here. Give you a breakdown. Sorry we didn't have anything yesterday, but I was doing too many. There's so many hours in the day, and I don't have hands enough to do it. So we didn't do anything yesterday. However, Monday we'll be back again too, because my schedule should be back to regular by then. Um, so yeah, check out Monday's already up. I cannot guarantee you this Sunday. Um, I won't be back home from driving to the airport until about 4 or 5 o'clock Sunday morning. So to wake up, I can't guarantee I'm not going to stay asleep. Okay, so I have not put up the link yet because I'm not sure what's going to happen Sunday. So if you don't see the link by 1 p.m. Eastern, then it probably won't happen. If you don't see the Zoom link pop up on my channel by 1 p.m. Eastern, it's probably not going to happen. Okay, just so you know, because I will be sleeping. I'm going to need it. All right. With that being said, we're going to get into a suggested requested book. Um, and you guys can feel free to do that. Send me an email and we'll go into them. And today it's Nehemiah. So, Nehemiah it is. We won't obviously finish Nehemiah today. That's not going to happen. But we will begin. We will begin it today. And I'm sure most of you by now should know something about Nehemiah. Mostly that it is out of the Babylonian captivity that they were coming. So this is fresh on the heels of that. And it mostly entails the rebuilding of the temple, so at least the walls. So we're gonna have a conversation about it, read it. Again, not every book in the Bible is about us. It's for, but not about. Many people want to make it about. It is not about. It's for. Okay, we get to read and see the faithfulness of God. We get to read and see the nature of God. We get to read and see what he did for his people, but it was for them at that time. There may be some prophecies in there, but the majority of these books are for us, not to us. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if that does or doesn't, but um, I think we like to put ourselves in the book way too much. Way too much. All right, so cool. Let's get going. Now, the idea is that people believe that Ezra is the one that wrote both this one and Ezra. Again, this is from a layman's perspective, so we're going to read this from the I have not been to seminary position, that I have not been to the Middle East to learn a language, none of that. Okay. We're going to see if this will make sense to the person just picking up the book to read. That's all. Can you just pick up the Bible, read it, and get from it what you have to get from it? That's how we're going to be reading this. Okay. All right, cool. The words of Nehemiah the son of Hakaliah. In the It came to pass in the month of Chislev in the 20th year that I was in Shushan, the citadel, that Hanai, one of my brethren, came with me to from Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews who had escaped, who had survived the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said to me, the survivors who are left from the captivity in the province are there in great distress and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem is also broken down, and its gates are burned with fire. Now, nothing much going on except for the instant drapery of the background of what you know is about to happen. So then, so it was when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned for many days. I was fasting and praying before the God of heaven. And I said, I pray, Lord God of heaven, a great and awesome God you are. You who keep that your covenant and mercy with us who love you and observe your commandments. Please let your ear be attentive and your eyes open that you may hear the prayer of your servant, which I pray before you now, day and night, for the children of Israel, your servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel which have sinned against you. Both my father's house and I have sinned. We have acted very corruptly against you, and have not kept the commandments, the statutes, nor the ordinances which you commanded your servants Moses. Remember, I pray the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, if you are unfaithful, I will scatter you among the nations. But if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, though some of you were cast out to the farthest part of the heavens, yet I will gather them from there and bring them to the place which I have chosen as my dwelling for my name. We'll pause right there. This is where many, few people today interject themselves as we are the outcast. We are the ones that are went astray. We are the ones that were scattered abroad. These people were already reconciled to a location. This is not about that. The other place that was in his name and for my name has already been chosen as well, which is what he did in the New Testament. That is nothing new. That is, you can gather that, even like I said, as a layman, you can gather that. The bigger part we want to focus on is the remembrance that in the Old Testament, God attributed to many people the faithfulness of one person. If you recognize what he did, like with Abraham and Lot, with Job and Elihu and the friends, right? Now he's doing it with Nehemiah and the Israelites. One person's faithfulness influences a lot. He will do things on a very faithful person's behalf. When Abraham was going to go save Lot, it was because of Abraham's faithfulness. Even to the generations after Abraham, it was because of Abraham's faithfulness. With the same thing with many of the people in the old, with Job, right? So we have Job, and Job would be the one that prayed for everybody. Job would take sacrifices for his family every day. The faithfulness of one protected the many. And those were also archetypes of what Jesus was going to be, because he was the ultimate faithful one. And through him, we are counted. You get what I mean? So it's been an archetype for a long time. So far we have the city of Jerusalem and what the Jews were suffering being mourned for and being prayed to be reconciled and redeemed. Now these are your servants and your people, whom you have redeemed by your great power and your strong hand. O Lord, I pray, please let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who desire to fear your name, and let your servant prosper this day, I pray, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man. For I was the king's cupbearer. Chapter 2. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was before him, that I took the wine and gave it to the king. Now I had never been sad in his presence before. Therefore the king said to me, why is your face sad, since you are not sick? This is nothing but sorrow of heart. So I became dreadfully afraid and said to the king, may the king live forever. Why should my face not be sad when the city, the place of my father's tombs, lies waste, and its gates are burned with fire? Then the king said to me, what do you request? So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said to the king, if it pleases the king, and if your servant was found favor in your sight, I ask you to send me to Judah, to the city of my father's tombs, that I may rebuild it. And the king said to me, the queen also sitting beside him, how long will your journey be? And when will you return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Again, your faithfulness is proven out. Like I said, for us, not to us. This is proof of two things. When asking the king for something, if you watch how the sequencing happened, the king asked, what is your request? The first thing he did was, I prayed to the God of heaven. You see the chain of command here? The chain of command is important here. The pleading with God first before the request made of man influences the way things go. Whenever people in the Old Testament did not consult God, watch how things went. Watch. You tell me if there was any sequencing where people just decided to act out of their own and things just went hunky dory. It's always been that they consult and then they go. Every war, consult, then you go. We like to go, then consult. We'll go, fail, go, fail, then consult, then go do the opposite, fail. That's how we do now. This is a great endeavor that he is taking on to try and go and rebuild Jerusalem. This is nothing small. This is not like some fly-by-night project where you're just going to put up a shed or something. He's talking about rebuilding an entire city. Okay. Then the king said to me, King, how long will your journey be? He told him. That furthermore, I said to the king, if it pleases the king, let letters be given to me for the governors of the region beyond the river, that they must permit me to pass through till I come to Judah. And a letter to Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he must give me timber to make beams for the gates of the citadel, which pertains to the temple, for the city wall, and for the house that I will occupy. And the king granted them to me according to the good hand of my God upon me. I will tell you this about the book of Nehemiah. It is a hopeful book to me. But I'll tell you what the biggest part that makes it the hopeful part of it. The hopeful part of it is that when I endeavor to do something because the topic or the project I have has to do with him, it will be blessed. It will be blessed, period. Then I went to the governors in the region beyond the river and gave them the king's letter. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me, protection. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite official heard of it, they were deeply disturbed that a man had come to seek the well-being of the children of Israel. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. Cool number. Then I arose in the night, and a few men with me. I told no one what my God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem, nor was there any animal with me except the one on which I rode. And I went out by night through the valley gate to the serpent well and the refuse gate, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and its gates, which were burned with fire. Then I went on to the fountain gate, to the king's pool, but there was no room for the animal under me to pass. So I went up in the night by the valley and viewed the wall. Then I turned back and entered by the valley gate. So I returned, and the officials did not know where I had gone, what I had done. I had not yet told the Jews, the priests, the nobles, the officials, or the others who did the work. Then I said to them, you see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lies waste and its gates are burned with fire. Come and let us build the walls of Jerusalem, that we may no longer be a reproach. And I told them of the hand, my God, which had good upon me, and also the king's words that he had spoken to me. So they said, let us rise and build. And they set their hands to this work. Now we'll get into the gates issue, because I think we had years ago now, I did one on the gates of Jerusalem. I think we had covered it in the mode of what the gates meant, or at least what scholars believe the gates meant. Um, but when I read Nehemiah in the vein of people just reading, the gates to me have functional and write readily without knowing history, without knowing any of that. It's pretty obvious that a lot of the issues you pick from the gates are all related to one thing, and that's provision. What do I mean by that is this: God has a city that he is building there, right? And everything that he did in that city, every access point, every exit point, every gate had a specific purpose and need. And all of it was to the benefit of the city, the people. I saw that more so as an ideal demonstration of nothing, absolutely nothing escapes him. He knows what to build, when to build, how to build it. He knows it. We just have to follow. That's our biggest issue. We don't like to follow. We hate following. We really do. Listen, we hate following God. I don't know what it is, but we do not like following verbatim what he said. We always got to try and find a loophole. Yeah, wait, oh, is that specifically about me? Or is that well, that one doesn't. We always want to try and find a way out. We're more Jonahs than we are Peters. But when Sanballat the Haranite, Tobiah the Ammonite official, and Geshem the Arab heard of it, they laughed at us and despised us, and said, what is this thing you're doing? Will you rebel against the king? So I answered them and said to them, the God of heaven himself will prosper us. Great answer. Therefore, we, his servants, will arise and build, but you have no heritage or right or memorial in Jerusalem. Ouch. Ouch. Mock all you want, but you don't have any parts here. You have nothing here. That's a pretty low blow there, but a factual one. That's the key. Low, but factual. Now, um, I want to go through something before we go any further. Okay. There were 12 gates that were set up, right, in Jerusalem. And the if you look now, they're still actually there. Okay. Um, People have ascribed all kinds of spiritual reasonings for the gates, and they have some sort of spiritual parallels each gate. And I get you probably could find that if you were to apply some kind of filter of the spirituality of things to the 12 gates. No doubt you can. But again, I tell people all the time, not everybody will be understanding of things like this. They just won't. Um, if that's the case, then what exactly do you do with reading if you're not a scholar? Um, I guess you can always depend on other people to do it, but is there a way for you to just read? Okay, so the gates. Um, in this book, we're going to get into it for sure. Okay. Um, but when we go there, I think what we need to analyze mostly is how does it apply to us, and in what way does it apply to us, if it does apply to us. That's the biggest question. Does it apply to us? And if it does apply to us, why wouldn't it be readily available to our minds to know? Okay. Why wouldn't it be? So we're going to continue into chapter 3 real quick. Um, but understand that once we get to those locations, I'm not going to be the kind of person, well, this gate here represents this, but that's not what this is. We're going to be reading this book as it is, for what it is, as a layman. Okay? Now, going to go over the names of the gates. Valley Gate, you can write these down. The Valley Gate, Gate of the Fountain, Sheep Gate, the Fish Gate, the Old Gate, the Dung Gate, Water Gate, the House Gate, Horse Gate, sorry, the East Gate, the Gate of Mifkad, the Gate of Ephraim, and the Prison Gate. Those are the gates. Okay. Write those down. Keep those in hand for when we do finally get to that location. Chapter 3. Then Elishib the high priest rose up with his brethren and priests and built the sheep gate. They consecrated and hung its doors. They built it as far as the Tower of the 100 and consecrated it then as far as the Tower of Hananel. Next to Elishib, the men of Jericho built. And next to them, Zakur the son of Imri built. As the sons of Hassaniah of Hassanah built the fish gate, they laid its beams and hung its doors and its bolts and bars. And next to them, Meremoth, the son of Urijah, the son of Koz, made repairs. Next to them, Meshullam, the son of Berekah, the son of Meshezabel, made gates. Next to them, Zadok, the son of Bana, made repairs. Next to them, the Tekoites made repairs, and their nobles did not put their shoulders to the work for their lord. Moreover, Jehoiada, the son of Pesah, and Meshullam, the son of Besodiah, repaired the old gate. They laid the beams and hung the doors with its bolts and bars. They keep repeating that, and I do believe there is some credence to that simply from what I'm just reading, that there is repetition of that particular thing to signify it was finished. Like it wasn't just we did the gates and we left something, bolts, bars, everything, it was done. And next to them, Melatiah, the Gibeonite, Jadon, the Meronothite, and men of Gibeon and Mizpah repaired the residence of the governor of the region beyond the river. So everyone is putting their hands to the wheel. Everyone's putting their hands to the wheel to get this done. There was one that was just barely putting their shoulder in there, but they were getting the work done. Now, the gates that they're talking about all have significance to the city. When you look at the and they all led somewhere. Now, the places that they led were not always places you wanted to go, but they all had places that were leading either to the benefit of the kingdom coming in or to the benefit of the kingdom going out. Therein lies a design of his kingdom, that there are ways that he functions to make the whole entirety of his kingdom function rightly by what he allows in and what he puts out. It's amazing. Next to him, Uzziel, the son of Herahiah, one of the goldsmiths, made repairs. Also next to him was Hananiah, one of the perfumers, made repairs. And they fortified Jerusalem as far as the broad wall, and made to them Rephahiah, the son of Hur, leader of half the district of Jerusalem, made repairs. Next to him, Jedaiah, the son of Harumaph, made repairs in the front of the house. Next to him, Hattush, the son of Hasbanahiah, made repairs. Now, a bunch of these names you might find absolutely ridiculous, and it does take quite bit to pronounce them. But the pronunciation and meanings of the name, again, those are not what we're going to focus on. Just know that these names are all names of people that were there to help rebuild the city of Jerusalem. Just know that. I know plenty of us, and this used to be me too. I used to read the Old Testament, and I used to say to myself, I ain't want to deal with these names at all. I don't want to have to try and learn to pronounce them. I don't want to learn to say how to say them. Just trying to talk about them is annoying, and I got frustrated, and I stopped reading the Old Testament. How many of you can say that's you? Just admit it. If it was you, maybe I'm alone. Maybe I'm the only person that encountered the Old Testament and thought to myself, these names. That's why I'm not reading it. It's too annoying. Too many big, too many unpronounceables. I just can't do this, man. Like, I'll stay away from certain books. Like I'll stay away the book where it's like, Exodus and all these the law books. Oh, don't even get me. I would never read the law books. Like I couldn't. The names, man. The names. But then I remembered I'm not a scholar. If I butcher the names, I butcher the names. Oh well. Oh well. I can always write down the name and do a whole chart and figure out who came from who, came from who, came from. He was a father and he lived da 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 years, and he gave birth to da 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 da, and he fathered this one. And remember that lineage thing? I wasn't gonna do that lineage thing. Wasn't gonna happen. But I remembered thinking to myself, but the story in between the names is valuable information for my walk. So I had to get by it. I had to. I had no choice. I had no choice. Melchijah, the son of Hiram, and Hushub, the son of Patah repaired another section, as well as the Tower of the Ovens. And next to him was Shallum, the son of Haloshesh, leader of half the district of Jerusalem. He and his daughters made repairs. Hanun and the inhabitants of Zanoah repaired the valley gate. They built it, hung its doors and bolts and bars, the same thing, and repaired 1,000 cubits of the wall, so far as the refuse gate. And again, I'm going to keep making sure they keep repeating that particular feature of finishing a gate. Hung its doors with its bolts and bars. Secure. That is pivotal that we catch that. Make sure we catch that. Malchijah, the son of Rechab, leader of the district of Beth Hakram, repaired the refuse gate and built it and hung its doors and its bolts and its bars. Shallum, the son of Kolhazah, leader of the district of Mizpah, repaired the fountain gate. He built it, covered it, hung its doors and its bolts and its bars, and repaired the wall to the pool of Shiloh by the king's garden, as far as the stairs that go down to the city of David. After him, Nehemiah, the son of Azbuk, leader of half the district of Beth Zur, made repairs for the place in front of the tombs of David to the man-made pool and as far as the house of the mighty. After him, the Levites under Rehum, the son of Bani, made repairs. Next to him, Hashabiah, leader of half the district of Keilah, made repairs for his district. After him, their brethren under Bavai, the son of Henadad, leader of the other half of the district of Keilah, made repairs. And next to him, Ezer, the son of Jeshua, the leader of Mizpah, repaired another section in front of the ancient of the armory at the buttress. After him, Baruch, son of Zabai, carefully repaired the other section from the buttress to the door of the house of Eliashib, the high priest. After him, Meremoth, the son of Urijah, the son of Koz, repaired another section from the door of the house of Eliashib to the end of the house of Eliashib. Now, if all of this is boring information to you. I want to just have you bear in mind one thing. The Old Testament gave mad details about things, almost like it. What if you were to just read it? Seems like you don't know why. Like they would give random, off the wall details about the most obscure things, and you maybe you ask yourself, and you've probably seen this too. You've done this yourself. You'll read a portion, and you're thinking to yourself, why why put that in there? Like that don't even make no sense. Like that seems a bit like too much information about something so insignificant. Like telling us that you're building only half the wall or partial of the wall, you only get to a certain section. Why? Why would you give that obscure, seemingly obscure of a statement? Unless he's trying to tell you that these particular people did their job. And nobody went to say, why didn't you do more or why did you do less? None of that was happening. Throughout the entire building of this, you see something happening that is not done much, which is the people working together and doing their part. That's pretty impressive. After him, the priests, the men of the plain, made repairs. After him, Benjamin and Hasub made repairs opposite their house. After them, Azariah, the son of Messiah, the son of Ananiah, made repairs by his house. After him, Benui, the son of Henadad, repaired another section from the house of Azariah to the buttress, even as far as the corner. Palel, the son of Uzai, made repairs opposite the buttress and on the tower which projects from the king's upper house. That was by the court of the prison. After him, Pedaiah, the son of Parash, made repairs. Moreover, the Nethinim, who built in Ophel, made repairs by the palace, the place in front of the water gate toward the east on the projecting tower. After them, the Tekoites repaired another section next to the great projecting tower and as far as the wall of Ophel. Beyond the horse gate, the priest made repairs, each in front of his own house. After them, Zadok, the son of Immer, made repairs in front of his own house. After him, Shemaiah, the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate, made repairs. After him, Hananiah, the son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the son of Zalaph, repaired another section. After him, Meshulam, the son of Berechiah, made repairs in front of his dwelling. After him, Malchijah, the son, one of the goldsmiths, made repairs as far as the house of Nethinium in the merchants, in front of the Mifkad gate, and as far as the upper room and corner, and between the upper room and the corner, as far as the sheep gate, the goldsmiths and the merchants made repairs. That last line right there. This might be the only insight I'm going to give of what I think this is alluding to. Okay. Again, when I read the Old Testament, I find one thing that's very, 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 very cool. They are very direct, even being indirect about things. Nothing is wasted in the Old Testament. I don't care what nobody tell me. The Old Testament, when they say stuff, it's not wasted at all. Read that last line, okay? So they go as far as the upper room, okay? It's the upper room. And that what I would call it. We'll call it upper room, upper corner, okay? And between the upper room at the corner, okay? Upper room at the corner to as far as the sheep gate. Okay? the goldsmiths and the merchants made repairs. Okay? Keep that in mind. The upper room, corner, sheep gate, goldsmiths and merchants. Anybody seeing a picture flesh out yet? Maybe I'm the only one that's seeing a picture fleshed out. Maybe I'm the only one seeing a picture fleshed out here. I'll tell you what picture I see. Now, whether that is or isn't, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see. The upper room where Christ sent all of his disciples to prep for the Last Supper, him being the cornerstone, and us being his sheep to enter through the sheep gate. And ironically, the outermost part of the temple was where he drove the merchants out of. I just find that kind of cool. I just find it kind of cool that there's almost an entire section right here that could pretty much explain the entirety of the New Testament. That is just I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm just saying that's what I see. I'm not saying that's what it is. I like it. Whether or not it is, I'm taking that to heart, that it was listed in the Old Testament. I really like that. 4. But it so happened when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, that he was furious and very indignant, and mocked the Jews. And he spoke before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, "What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they fortify themselves? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they complete it in a day? Will they revive the stones from the heaps of rubbish, stones that are burned?" Now Tobiah the Ammonite was beside him, and he said, "Whatever they build, if even a fox goes upon it, he will break down their stone wall. Hear, O our God, for we are despised. Turn the reproach on their heads and give them as plunder to a land of captivity. Do not cover their iniquity. Do not let their sin be blotted out before you, for they have provoked you to anger before the builders." So we built the wall, and an entire wall was joined together up to half its height, for the people had a mind to work. Ain't that kind of cool? So we built the wall, an entire wall joined together, right? Everybody had work to do. Now it happened when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, and the Ammonites, and the Ashdodites heard that the wall of Jerusalem was being restored and the gaps were beginning to be closed, that they became very angry, and all of them conspired together to come back and attack Jerusalem and create confusion. Nevertheless, we made our prayer to our God, and because of them, we set a watch against them day and night. Then Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is failing, and there is so much rubbish that we are not able to build the wall." And our adversaries said, "They will neither know nor see anything till we come into the midst and kill them and cause the work to cease." So it was when the Jews who dwelt near them came, and they told us 10 times, "For whatever place you turn, they will be upon us." Therefore I positioned men behind the low parts of the wall at the openings, and I set people according to their families with their swords and spears and bows. And I looked and arose and said to the nobles and the leaders and to the rest of the people, "Do not be afraid of them. Remember the Lord great and awesome, and fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughters, your wives, your houses." Many of us do not do that. We run. We run. We run. Instead of protecting through God what he gave us. And it happened when our enemies heard that it was known to us that God had brought their plot to nothing, that all of us returned to the wall, everyone to his work. So it was from that time on that half of my servants worked at construction, while the other half held the spears and swords and bows and wore armor, and the leaders were behind all the house of Judah. Those who built the wall and those who carried burdens loaded themselves so that one hand they worked at construction and the other hand held a weapon. Every one of the builders had his sword girded at his side as he built, and the one who sounded the trumpet was beside me. Quick question. Do you get tired of doing too much for the kingdom? Do you find yourself being tired or doing too much? Like, I only have one job for the kingdom, and that's plenty. Do you realize that these guys were rebuilding Jerusalem? Adversaries were coming to try and kill them and destroy what they were doing. Their plan of action was to protect and to build at the same time. One hand on the sword, one hand working. Protection, building, fighting. Everybody was doing double duty to get kingdom stuff done. Here we are today. We don't want to do much. In fact, what we do pick to do is what we pick to do. We don't even do what they did. They consulted God long before they did anything. They went every day was because what God sent them to do. We, on the other hand, okay, God, I'm going to do this now. Bless that. And since this is what I picked, it's the only thing I'm going to do. No, 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 no. Don't ask me to do nothing else. This is what I'm doing. I picked this. This is my comfort zone. Bless it, please. In fact, not even please. Bless it. We had this discussion on Sunday at our Zoom, and the concept of using our resources for the kingdom came up. And the bigger question was, okay, so you're using your resources for the kingdom, but does that mean the kingdom asks you for your resources? Like, I know that you think to yourself that I'm just going to do, but many of us just go do without consulting God about his kingdom. Like, it's his work. He wants something done, he'll get it done. So why not ask him what you should be doing? But we enter into this thing thinking we're going to bring our talents, bring this, and we're not going to do anything else. There was an assigning of people that were bakers, people that were artisans, and they all got put to do something that they were not normally able to do. Hung walls, build a gate, pick up garbage, pick up, like you can imagine this. That isn't what you do normally. But for the sake of the kingdom, that's what you're going to do. You're going to be building that gate. You're going to be hanging that one. You're going to be doing all the things we ask you to do for the kingdom. Some of these people came with their predisposed talents. None of that mattered when the kingdom was the goal. Many don't want to consult God about stuff. But if it's one thing you can say about the people in the Old Testament, is that you blatantly saw the mad results between consulting God and not consulting God and where things went. When they didn't, failure. When they did, success. One thing that we just don't seem to do anymore is that. And it's not like that particular thing went away. He told you to do that in the New Testament too. He told you. When we go for asking in his name, we always go to say what you really, really want. And then you say in his name, hoping that that's just going to cover what you want because you asked for it. And I don't know if we understand that fully. Like many don't understand what it is to not my will, but his. Because he'll put his will on you, and then you'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow your roll there, man. I'm not that guy, or I'm not that lady. But you said in my name, and you said if it be my will. So this is my will. I get that, but what I meant by that was I want this to be in your will. I want this that I'm praying for, what I want. I need that to be inside your will, and that's what you want too. That's what I need. I don't mean I'm going to pray this and it may not happen because you don't want it. I want you to want it, and that's your will. See? Easy. That's not the process, people. The process is this: God said it, go do it, get her done. Jerusalem wall needs to be built. You're in charge of this gate. Make sure it's hung, latches, bolts, locks, everything. Just like it said. Why are we having such a hard time just doing that? Then I said to the nobles, the rulers, and the rest of the people, the work is great and extensive, and we are separated far from one another on the wall. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, rally to us there. Our God will fight for us. So we labored in the work, and half of the men held spears from the daybreak until the stars appeared. At the time, I also said to the people, let each man and his servant stay at night in Jerusalem, that they may be on our guard by night, a working party by day. So neither I, my brethren, my servants, nor the men who guard, who followed me, took off their clothes, except that everyone took them off for washing. You didn't even bother taking them off to sleep. That's what you call working. That's what you call shoulder to the plow. So let me ask the elephant in the room question. Next Tuesday, when we get back into chapter 5, we'll discuss this. Seeing as how we today are not under the old covenant law, do you think that that particular statement causes many to think that what they have been called to do is just a suggestion? When they hear the law's been done away with, do you think that maybe some people just decide that the whole rules and regulations is also out the window, and God is now dealing in straight forgiveness, and so whatever I do, I'm covered? I do believe that some people believe like that. Honestly, I think many more believe that than we might want to admit. I think many do. That explains why so many behave the way they behave. Maybe we should take more examples about how things went. The consultation, who's first, and making sure that what we're doing is in his will, not us asking him to put what we want in his will. Anywho, Nehemiah is one of those cool books, man. Y'all understand what I mean by that when we get into 5 and onward. Monday's a bit of a um, interesting topic, to say the least. Go check out the descriptions. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. I do want to give a special shout out to everyone who responded to my post. Um, You have no idea um, to what extent your helping made a difference here. Um, and look, it's for those of you who are men out there, you understand the issues with saying I need help or something like that. It's not the easiest thing to do. In fact, we don't do it, and we don't do it to our own detriment. And in that instant, when I did it, it was I can admit that it was a very difficult thing to do. Um, wasn't something I wanted necessarily to do, but situations compelled, yeah, compelled it. So, but I do from the bottom of my heart, every last one of you that inboxed and we talked and you assisted, I cannot, I cannot thank you enough. I can't. There is not going to be enough time to say thank you. I just want you to know that. Um, it was one of those reminder things. It was a reminder thing to me to realize that he does still has his hand of covering when obedience is present, and I'm grateful. Thank you. Um, Savage Patriots will be on today. Um, we have a famous Friday. You guys may remember this particular individual, but they're back again. So we gotta do what we gotta do. Oh, don't worry about it. If you missed it, that trust me, that was either a God thing or whatever. If you missed that, it's okay. It is okay. I didn't put it out there to keep it going. In fact, I probably should be taking it down, considering that um, things were addressed. Um, so no, don't even try to worry about saying you should have. No, 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 no. When I said that God knew what He was doing with who He brought and what He did and how He did it, trust me, it's okay. It is. It is completely okay. Um, I really do understand, and it's not. It's not. I'm not saying to anybody that they should have seen and should have not seen. You saw what you're supposed to see, and you did what you were supposed to do. Okay. Um, but like I said, Sunday, not sure. I'll be driving in really late that night, early morning, and I'll probably go straight to bed more than likely. Um, and if I get enough sleep, we'll do the 1 o'clock. But if I don't want to say I will, and then I oversleep and miss it. So for now, the Zoom will, if I post it, it will be early Sunday morning on my end, but like 1 o'clock your time Eastern. So 1 Eastern, if you don't see it posted by 1 Eastern, we won't be doing the Zoom. Okay, just so you know. Just want to make sure nobody's getting the missing anything. Okay, cool. Again, love you. Um, mean it. Appreciate y'all. Really do appreciate you, like you wouldn't believe. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. We'll catch you on Savage Pages later today, 6:30 Eastern, and then on Monday for our next discussion on this one. Okay. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. Please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.